Long ago, they say that half of the world had the sun, but the other side of the world did not. And so all the animals living on this side of the world were always bumping into each other and getting lost. Now, Wolf lived on this dark side of the world. So he had an idea. He gathered all the animals in a big cave. And he got up in front of them and he crossed his arms and he said, "I'm tired of everybody bumping into me and asking me for directions." And he says, "I have an idea. We should go to the other side of the world and ask them for a piece of sun. I think if we're real nice, they'll give us a piece." But Trickster Coyote jumped up, and he was sneaky and foolish. He said, "No, no, no, if they're so nice on the other side of the world, how come they haven't given us a piece of sun already?" He said, "I, Coyote, have a better idea. Let's sneak over there and just steal a piece of their sun." "Oh no," said Wolf, "we can't go do that." "Oh, calm down," said Coyote. "We're not gonna steal a big fat piece of their sun. We'll sneak over there and we'll just take a little tiny piece of their sun. They'll never miss it on the other side of the world," said Coyote. So all the animals in the cave looked at one another, and finally a little voice from the back of the cave said, "Hey, send me, I'll go. Hey, I'll go." "Who is that back there?" said Wolf. "Come on down where I can see you." So down to the front comes a round little animal with a big bushy tail, little ears, little eyes, and big fat chubby cheeks. And he was kind of shy, and he raised his little paw and he said, "Hi, my name is Possum. I got an idea. I got sharp claws, and I think I can dig a tunnel to the other side of the world. When I get there, I'll just take a little piece and I'll hide it in my big bushy tail." "Oh," Wolf said, "oh, that's a great idea, Possum." So they went to a big wall made out of dirt, and Possum took his sharp claws and began to dig and dig. And Possum made a beautiful tunnel to the other side of the world. Now, Possum had never, ever seen the sun before. And when he popped out on the other side of the world, the sunlight was so bright it hit his little eyes, and he screamed, "Ah, I can't see!" He yelled, "I can't see!" Well, his eyes have been squinty to this very day, and now you know why. Well, Possum took a little tiny piece of that sun and hid it in his big bushy tail. He turned around and he ran as fast as he could back down the tunnel. Faster and faster, halfway down, something started to get warm inside of his tail. But Possum didn't give up. He ran and ran, and something got hotter in his tail. And Possum soon ran into the cave where all the animals were waiting, and there was smoke coming out of his tail. "Oh no," all the animals yelled, "get some water!" And they whoosh, 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 threw the water on Possum's tail. Finally, the smoke clears. Wolf looks at Possum and he says, "Oh no, Possum, your tail's all skinny. It looks like a rat's tail." And Possum's had that skinny tail ever since, and now you know why. "Well, what are we gonna do?" said Wolf. "The sun burned out in Possum's tail." And a loud voice from the back of the cave said, "Hey, send me, I'll go." Down to the front comes a big, tall bird with shiny, beautiful feathers. Down to the front, he had a beautiful crown of feathers on top of his head. He was kind of a show-off. He said, "Hey, it's me, Big Bad Buzzard. I wouldn't be so dumb as to put the sun in my tail. I'm gonna hide the sun in my beautiful crown of feathers." And Buzzard didn't waste a moment. He jumped into the tunnel and flew all the way to the other side of the world. It didn't take him long at all. He came out on the other side and he took a piece of sun and put it on top of his head. And he turned around, and Buzzard flew, soared back down to his side of the world, faster and faster and faster. And halfway down, something started to get warm on top of his head. But he didn't give up. He flew, and something got hotter and hotter, and he flew into the cave, and the animals looked up and they said, "Oh no, Buzzard, your head!" And they whoosh, whoosh, whoosh threw water on Buzzard's head. When the smoke cleared, Wolf looked at Buzzard and said, "Oh no, you're bald." And Buzzard has been bald ever since, and now you know why. "Well, what are we going to do now?" said Wolf. "Look at poor Possum, and now Buzzard, we still don't have any light." And just then a little voice from right above Wolf's head said, "Send me, I'll go, send me." Wolf looked up. He said, "Who is that? I can't see you up there. Come down where I can see you." Just then a little thread came down, and a little voice said, "Send me." Stopped right in front of Wolf. Wolf looked down. He said, "Oh no, not you, Grandma." Well, this was Grandmother Spider. Grandma Spider crossed all of her many arms, and she said, "I know I'm old, but I need you to bring me a ball of clay this big." "Go on," she said. So Wolf went, and they brought a ball of clay about this big and brought it back to Grandmother Spider. And she sat in the middle of the cave, and she began to pat the clay in all of her many hands. And she sang a little song. "Hey, Anna, ya, hey, Anna, hey, Anna, ho. Hey, Anna, 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 ho. Hey, Anna, 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 ho. Hey, Anna, ho. Hey, Anna, ho. Hey, Anna, ho." And she kept singing her song. And when she finally finished, she had made a beautiful bowl out of her clay. Grandmother Spider never said another word. She picked up that clay bowl and disappeared into the tunnel. And she finally reached the other side of the world, but she wasn't alone. The sun guards were there, and they were mean-looking monsters. They had fire pouring out of their heads, and they had smoke coming out of their ears and steam pouring out of their nostrils. They were mean-looking monsters with their spears, and they stood there guarding their son. But Grandma Spider was so tiny, she sneaked right past the sun guards. She tiptoed up to the sun, took a little piece, and put it inside her clay bowl. And then she came back inside the tunnel. And the sun guards never saw her. They never looked down by their feet. And she was safe inside the tunnel and came all the way back to her side of the world, carrying that little piece of sun in her clay bowl. Well, she came all the way to her side of the world. She came into the cave, and when she did, that ball of light began to grow and grow and grow. And this ball of light got so big that the animals pushed and squeezed the ball of light out of the cave until it bounced and flew off into the sky. So all the animals came out of the cave and they could see for the first time. And you know, they were so happy, they danced around Grandmother Spider. And from that day on, whenever she would spin her web, you could see the shape of the sun. And it's been that way ever since, and now you know why. And that's the end of the story. I'm Geri Keams from the Navajo Nation, and you're watching First Nations Experience.